Hello, I'm Dave Foley, the Director of Music and Communications here at Linden-Linthicum. Starting today, I'm going to be bringing you a video devotional every Saturday that ties in musically to Sunday service. It might be the theme of the service, a hymn we're singing, or something else we're doing, such as a new song we'll be using or the special music. It's been amazing watching Pastor Gail become comfortable in front of the camera for the last 10 months. She's now a master at this, and we rarely have to do a second take. I'm now on my 18th take, so I just pray that you be patient with me as I get used to this new way of reaching you during the pandemic. Two of my favorite filmmakers are Joel and Ethan Coen, better known as the Coen Brothers, and they've been making some of the best movies since the mid-'80s. Their movies can be a little strange and quirky, like Fargo or The Hudsucker Proxy. They can be hilarious, like Raising Arizona, which is one of my wife's favorites. And then there's one of my favorites, The Big Lebowski. I mean, who doesn't love Jeff Bridges as the dude who loves to bowl? They've also directed cinematic masterpieces such as Bridge of Spies and No Country for Old Men, which won Best Picture. One of the many reasons why I love their movies is due to the film soundtracks that they have. They do this almost better than any other filmmaker. For instance, in Miller's Crossing, which is a movie about Irish mobsters, Irish folk tunes are woven throughout the score, and pretty much every character is given their own Irish folk tune. But what I really love is their use of hymns in some of their movies. You may remember the movie Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? It was accompanied by an Appalachian gospel soundtrack. It won the Grammy for Album of the Year when it came out, and Alison Krauss's Down to the River to Pray from the film became so popular that our choir members were practically begging me to get the music so we could sing it. So I got the music, and we still present it here in church from time to time. As a matter of fact, a number of years ago, we actually sang it for a baptism down by Brighton Dam, down by the river to pray, or to sing, I guess. But my favorite use of hymnody in their movies came in their film adaptation of the book True Grit. True Grit is the story of 14-year-old Maddie, who hires the meanest deputy U.S. Marshal she can find, Rooster Cogburn, to help find the person responsible for her father's death. Come on, it's take 18. I'm getting a little dry here. Now, I know many of you probably prefer John Wayne's Rooster Cogburn to the 1969 version over Jeff Bridges in the Coen Brothers 2010 version. I personally prefer Jeff Bridges because, he's the dude. But in this more modern version, Maddie's theme in the soundtrack is the hymn, Leaning on the Everlasting Arms. Other hymns, such as What a Friend We Have in Jesus, are also peppered throughout the movie, but Leaning on the Everlasting Arms is so prevalent that the film's composer, Carter Burwell, says that about a quarter of the score, a full quarter of the score, is based on that hymn tune, Leaning on the Everlasting Arms. In the movie, 14-year-old Maddie has to grow up so fast. She has to try to be much braver and more mature than most kids her age. She has to aggressively trade horses to raise the money to hire Rooster. They battle the terrain of the land and wild animals, the occasional outlaw, and sometimes each other. But all the while, when she is on screen, the hymn of Leaning on the Everlasting Arms plays in different theme and variations and musical derivations. The music and words to the chorus of the hymn were written by Anthony Showalter, and they were inspired by Deuteronomy 33:27, which says this: "The eternal God is thy refuge, and underneath are the everlasting arms." And so the hymn's very simple chorus goes, leaning on Jesus, safe and secure from all alarms, leaning on Jesus, leaning on Jesus, leaning on the everlasting arms. Showalter would then have a former student of his named Elisha Hoffman write the verses. And when I think of young Maddie and True Grit, I think of these phrases from the hymn. What a blessedness, leaning on the everlasting arms. What a peace is mine, leaning on the everlasting arms. What have I to dread? What have I to fear, leaning on the everlasting arms? I have blessed peace with my Lord so near, leaning on the everlasting arms. Tomorrow I'll be playing this hymn tune for the special music. I'll be presenting it as a piano and organ duet that I play with myself. This will be the third time I've done this. It's a lot of fun. I recorded the organ part today, and then I get to play the piano part with the organ in the morning. I hope you'll tune in at 9 o'clock tomorrow to watch our service live. If not, it's available forever on YouTube. It's available on our front page of our website all week, and you can find that at www.l-lumc.org. And when you're on YouTube, please subscribe to our YouTube channel as well. The more subscribers we have, the more features we can open up with YouTube. If you have a prayer request you can read that you want read aloud tomorrow during the service, you can get a head start on that by sending Kendra an email at kendra@l-lumc.org. These devotionals in times of uncertainty are here for all of us that are waking up and seeing the world changing every day during the pandemic. It's often scary and it's often unsettling. But please just know, Jesus is all holding us in his everlasting arms. Amen.